You've seen Fraser, Hastings. What is your feeling?
He's a big chap. Fragile isn't exactly the word that springs to mind. I talked to his landlady before seeing him. She went to bed at 11. Fraser wasn't home yet.
Bien. Megan Barnard said he is a reserved character but with a nasty temper. We will see if this is the case.
Vale. Hay que trabajar a la cafetería, ¿no? Entra, hombre, entra. Esta señal, ¿no?
How do you do, Mr. Fraser?
You Hercule Poirot. Mr. Hastings said you wanted to speak to me.
Yes. I know that it may not be the right time, but I would like to ask you a few questions.
Cuestión añadida. ¿Qué?
This man looks suspicious.
Whisky. ¿Qué? Ropa arrugada. ¿El pelo? Barba.
Donald Fraser is in a terrible state, as if he hadn't slept all night,
en vez de la barba.
and he's drinking White Horse.
Leave me alone. Tell me that it's a mistake. That Betty isn't dead.
Sadly, your lady friend has been murdered, Mr. Fraser.
Oh, Betty, if only you'd listened.
Pregúntale si vio a Betty ayer para tarde. Decirle que Betty hacía lo que se venía en gana. Pregúntale qué había pasado si ella lo hubiese escuchado.
Did you visit Betty yesterday afternoon?
No, I haven't seen Betty for 2 days. I was at the office yesterday afternoon.
Can you prove that?
Of course. But why this question? Betty died yesterday evening, didn't she?
¿Cómo sabes eso? Decirle que es uno de los sospechosos.
Betty was murdered during the night, but that does not prove that she did not meet her murderer earlier in the day.
So, am I a suspect?
Everybody close to Betty is a suspect, Mr. Fraser. I would be a very poor detective if I did not examine all possible eventualities. Do you know what Betty's plans were yesterday evening?
She said she was having dinner with her sister.
Pregúntale por qué la creyó. Precisa que su hermana estaba en Londres.
Yet, Megan only returned to Bexhill this morning, Mr. Fraser.
I didn't know.
Right. May I ask you what you were doing yesterday evening?
I spent the evening working.
Your colleagues can confirm this?
No. I often take work home with me.
Miente. Acusarla de mentir como hacía Betty. Señala que no tiene coartada. Acusamos de mentir.
You are lying, Mr. Fraser. As was Betty when she hid the fact from you that she was seeing other men.
Betty was a very decent young woman. How dare you sully her memory?
Hay que encontrar al asesino.
I am not interested in memories of her, Mr. Fraser. I am looking for a killer, and I need you to be my closest ally. That is, unless you have something to hide.
Of course I don't.
Très bien. So, what were we saying? Where were you yesterday evening?
I looked everywhere for her, but in vain. When she said she was going to have dinner with her sister on a weekday, I thought it was strange. I tried not to think about it, but I was like a lion in a cage. I was convinced she was lying. So I went round all the restaurants in the town. When I didn't find her, I went to the next town. But nothing. I must have got home about midnight or 1 o'clock.
Did anybody see you?
I don't think so. I didn't talk to anybody. I was so furious.
Ah, I knew I'd find you here, Poirot. I thought the victim's young man was here.
Yes, is all yours, Chief Inspector. Let us now try and get our brain cells to work.
Vale. ¿No has tenido motivo para asesinar a Betty? Betty salía mucho. No. No tiene coartada. No. No es... Y Betty salía mucho. ¿No? ¿No? Está mal. ¿Dónde es un hombre violento? Mi Betty salía mucho. Vale. Ahora tiene una coartada. No tiene. ¿Tiene un motivo para todos los asesinatos? ¿No está una hora de Betty? No. ¿Este? No tiene motivo. Vámonos, ¿no?
Fraser doesn't have an alibi and he's extremely jealous.
You are very skilled at summing up.
And yet you haven't asked Japp to arrest him.
It is too soon. But I agree, without the letters announcing the crimes, Fraser would already be behind bars. Bon, I think we have enough elements. Let's reconstruct the events at the scene of the crime.
I can't imagine how the murderer wasn't seen, though. Surely she must have struggled.
Let us try and imagine the scene.
Reconstrucción.
The killer and the victim are walking on the beach. Miss Betty has a bag, a belt around her waist, and carries her shoes in her hand. Both of them walk slowly to hut number 5.
Avanzamos, porque esto no es.
Both of them walk slowly to hut number 6.
Se cambia.
Miss Betty enters the hut. She leaves without her belongings. Then she hides a code.
Avanza.
They keep walking. Then she removes her belt.
¿Qué hace?
The murderer moves behind her and then attacks her by surprise. The body falls, lifeless, on the sand.
Everything appears to match the crime scene, mon cher Hastings. That is exactly what happened.
Vale.
Without the ABC, we might have suspected Mr. Asher and Mr. Fraser. But by signing his crimes, the murderer is making sure he's accused. In a way, it is very generous of him.
Generous? The murderer seduced Betty in order to lure her to the beach and kill her.
Indeed, the young woman was certainly careless, but not stupid enough to follow a stranger.
What are you planning to do, Poirot?
Return to London, mon cher Hastings.
Supongo que es aquí en el cambio de este.
Japp has decided to reveal details to the press. The alphabet murder is now famous.
It is not a bad idea. The more people who know, the greater our chances of finding out something of interest.
Poirot, I have a bad feeling.
Tengo un presentimiento.
Poor Mr. Poirot, not so good at these little criminal matters as you thought yourself, are you? Rather past your prime, perhaps. Let us see if you can do any better this time. This time, it's an easy one. Churston on the 30th. Do try and do something about it. It's a bit dull having it all my own way, you know. Good hunting. Ever yours, ABC. Good hunting.
ya.
Did you hear that, Poirot? The murderer seems to be taking it all as a game, a challenge. He will strike on 30th in Churston. We must warn Scotland Yard.
Ah, no, coño, escola ya. Vale, vale. Precisa que hoy es el día 30.
Hastings, today is the 30th.
No time to lose. We must prepare our suitcases for Churston.
Mon Dieu, it is already 10 o'clock. I will call Scotland Yard immediately.
El policía, vale, que me he equivocado. Enhorabuena. Llama a escola ya en este. ¿Dónde está? Fuera. Teléfono.
It is not a good...
Teléfono, boludo.
Hello, Japp. We received a new letter from ABC in the 10 o'clock post.
Where and when?
In Churston. Today.
Today? I'll inform the population immediately.
I'll check the train times. Call me back.
Vale, vamos a mirar si hay algo nuevo. Porque
It is not a good time.
¿esto me deja? ¿Este sí?
Daily Flicker, July 30, 1935. ABC affair, no progress. The alphabet murderer is still on the run. Ever since the police found the connection between the Bexhill and Andover affairs, the inquiry has barely progressed. In this issue, we are publishing provocative letters sent by the killer to Hercule Poirot. Unfortunately, they have not yet helped to find him. Daily Flicker, July the 26th, 1935. The Bexhill Horror. Young maid strangled on the beach. Killer struck at midnight.
Vale. A ver si aquí hay algo nuevo. Hay una maleta, está el templo con la maleta.
Bexhill-on-Sea, Sussex, population 24,703. Hastings' photo album. He is very proud of his bag.
Ah, bueno, que es cazador. Está bien el asunto. ¿Y aquí qué estábamos leyendo nosotros? ¿No podemos verlo? A ver si hay algo más. Tiene pinta de que no, porque no me dejo. Por aquí, antes de darle... Aquí está la carta esa. Eso no me deja, que ya le he dado. No, vale, vamos a la carta. Porque... Bueno, aquí me sale otra vez. Digo yo que el espejo otra vez. Mira, aquí hay algo. Está roto. Esto no se puede mirar, ¿no?
In his haste, Hastings tore the envelope.
¿Y esto? Mira, aquí.
I lock my revolver in this drawer. I've not used it in a very long time.
Y está cerrado con llave.
I lock...
Vale.
Hastings, what you are doing is an absolute disaster. That is no way to pack
Salió a
suitcases.
con la 9 de dados sin querer.
Heavens, we must hurry. We have to get to Churston before the murder.
Pensé que es una situación. Sentí que el orden es primordial.
Hastings, order and method are always necessary, regardless of the circumstances.
Okay. I'll let you pack them.
All the same, it really is a disgrace to leave your belongings in such a mess.
Certifico más cerrado. Se va a borcar todo. Botella sin proteger. Se va a caer también. Calcetines desemparejados. Pijama más doblado. Toalla.
Voila! It only took a minute.
Poirot, you were right.
¿Por qué?
I've just consulted the ABC guide. There's no hurry. The next train doesn't leave till 11:45.
You see, there is no need to hurry. We will not be in Churston until tomorrow morning, after the murder.
But why has the murderer warned us so late? It's not what he usually does. Did he do it on purpose?
Very good question, Hastings. We should also compare the letter we have just received with the other two, although I have very little doubt about what we will find.
Pues ahora ya lo único que nos queda es eso. Y a ver si creo que no nos va a dejar. Pero si es que se nos pone esto por quedar algo, ¿no? Mira, si ahora
Right, let us
hay que mirar
compare
primero
this
todo
new
el
letter with
departamento
the
y luego
second
mirar
one.
aquí. Y comparamos las cartas.
Let us examine this more closely.
Las mismas letras, ¿no?
Certain characters in... Yes, this I is weird. Right, let us compare this with the other letter. Yes, the I characters in the two letters do indeed have the same defects. I have to find some other similar defects to confirm my theory.
La V. La W, perdón.
The W is not printed properly.
Y la otra era la A, ¿no? Sí.
Right, let us compare this with the other letter. Of course, the W characters in the two letters do indeed have the same defects. I have to find some other similar defects to confirm my theory.
Ya la A.
Yes, the A appears to be quite unusual.
Ah, que no puedo.
Right, let us compare this with the other letter. That's right. The A characters in the two letters do indeed have the same defects. My theory was right. These two letters were written with the same typewriter. Let us now try and get our brain cells to work.
¿Por qué no viste tan tarde el asesino? El asesino es famoso. ¿Por qué no fue enviado en la fecha correcta? Este whisky. ¿Esto? ¡Ay! Se ha quitado. No. ¿Porque se ha hecho famoso? No. Este. No. Este. ¡Ay! Este. Vale, este. La carta llegó tarde debido a un error de la dirección.
The letter should have arrived in time. The postmark shows that it was sent 3 days ago. However, our man made a mistake in the address, which explains the delay. All the same, the post office took their time correcting the error.
Come on, Poirot. Your address is not quite as well known as that of Scotland Yard.
Contesta el
Poirot, the
teléfono.
telephone. It must be Jap.
I have some news from Churchton. Bad
Mira,
news,
ahora
I'm
sí, por la
afraid.
12.
Sir
Empieza el nombre y el
Carmichael
apellido,
Clark
con
was
12.
murdered while out on his evening walk.
Sir Carmichael Clark. The name is familiar to me.
He was a famous throat specialist, one of the best in London. A wealthy man, he retired to Combside, a beautiful house by the sea. He collected antiques.
Are you going there?
Yes, let's meet on the train.